A newer, more powerful movie rating system is here. I've tweaked it just a little bit to make it easier for you to follow. It will help you rate your movies more consistently over time. So if you love movies, and especially if you use the Letterboxd app to keep track and rate all of your movies, maybe you've had trouble coming up with your own scale, or you're thick in the weeds of the minutia between a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star movie. Give this a go, see if it makes sense to you. And while we're at it, why don't we follow each other on Letterboxd? Let's get right into the version 2 of the movie rating system. Nothing has been changed from the first version of my movie system rating scale, but I think I've made it easier for us to figure out how we're going to rate a movie. The very first thing that you're going to do after you get done watching a movie is you're going to ask yourself, did you like the movie and would you watch it again? It's a very simple question. In 99.9% of all the cases, any movie that you're going to want to watch again, you actually like. Did you like it? You're going to watch it again. Would you watch it again? Then you like the movie. We're keeping it simple. This is the first question to ask. Why? Because basically asking 50-50 questions are going to make our rating system consistent over a long period of time to where all of your movies are going to be judged in a similar way. So did you like a movie? Are you going to watch it again? If the answer is yes, you're automatically in a 3-star situation. If you didn't like the movie and you have no desire to watch it again, that is a 2-star movie. Now let's work on the top end of the scale, going 3 to 4 to 5 and the differences between those 3 ratings. Now each level that you go up from a 3 to a 4-star, from a 4 to a 5, you have to give something up. This is the great thing about my system. I actually think it's about as objective as you can get for a personal rating system for movies. Now what do I mean by giving something up? All right, so the difference between a 3-star and a 4-star movie. Would you be willing to buy this movie? You liked it, you're going to watch it again. Would you buy this movie? Now, it doesn't matter if it's a digital copy, like streaming version of the movie, or Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, whatever the case may be. You like the movie, you're going to watch it again. Would you buy the movie? If the answer to that is yes, you're in the 4-star territory. See, this is pretty easy. But if you're like, I like the movie, I would probably watch it again, but I wouldn't spend my hard-earned money to go buy it, then that stays as a 3-star movie and you have your 3-star movie. What are you giving up in a case like this? You're giving up your cash. For me, my time and my cash is very limited. Now, as a physical movie collector, I guess I would say, I have to kind of play it smart because I don't have an infinite amount of discretionary income to go buy every movie that kind of interests me. So actually keeping a movie rating system is going to help me and my budget for not only this channel, but to not get crazy about buying physical media, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. If there's a movie that I like that I'm like, if I'm not willing to part with my money on it, that's not a 4-star movie. And this is where I was struggling with the last video I made a couple months ago with my version 1 of this system, trying to explain the difference between a 3-star and a 4-star. And I was going along the lines of, well, would you recommend this movie to somebody else? And the more I got to thinking about that, I was like, that's kind of a hard thing to do, especially if you're antisocial like me, you're an introvert, and most people don't have the same taste that I do. That is a hard way for me to kind of try to judge to see, okay, what is the difference between a 3 and a 4-star? Parting ways with my money is a great way, an easy way for me to determine, okay, what's the difference between this movie and that one? Well, this one here, I would spend my money on. I would buy a copy of this on 4K, on Blu-ray, if I come across a DVD for some special features, or there's some reason there's a version of it on DVD that's the only way it exists. And I'm even gonna say, if Apple runs a big sale online and they say, hey, this movie that you really liked is now only $4.99 or $3.99, or you can get a pack of 10 of these movies for super cheap. If I am willing to spend my hard-earned cash on anything that is a movie that is now a 4-star considered movie. So if we're going to work our way up to a 5-star, and the difference between a 4-star and a 5-star in my system, my 5-star list of movies, this is the fun part, is I have to give up a movie to move something into that 5-star category, because my 5 stars, I limit that to only 10 movies. Boom. Done. There's only 10 movies that exist that I can put as a 5-star movie. That's what separates my 5 stars with my 4 stars. Now, the family, we just got done rewatching Inception, and my thing was I liked it. I loved it. Would I buy it? Yes, absolutely. I would buy a hard copy of that, and I don't have a hard copy of it. I don't have any copy of it, but I would definitely buy it. Well, is that a 5-star movie? Well, is that good enough to knock off one of my 10 5-star movies? And then here's the other case where I said I have to give something up. As a 4-star movie, I have to give up some cash to make that a 4-star movie. Well, now as a 5-star, I have to give up a 5-star movie that is existing in my top 10 for a movie to be considered a 5-star movie. Now, there's another Leo movie that I consider that is one of my all-time favorites. It's a 5-star, Catch Me If You Can, with Tom Hanks. Will I consider Inception better than that movie? Would I move Catch Me If You Can down from a 5-star to let Inception go at number 5? I don't think I can do that. As much as I love Inception, I think it's an absolute brilliant movie. I think about it all the time, and that is one of the other indicators as far as what separates between a 3 and a 4-star movie. A 4-star and above is going to occupy your mind space. You're going to be thinking about that movie days and weeks afterwards. Inception is that kind of movie. Came out in 2010? I've seen it probably half a dozen times, and I probably have spent a couple days after last weekend watching it, going through all of the dream sequences in my head and just wondering, do I really care if the little spinny thing, did that fall at the end of the movie? And by the way, if you really wanted to know, at this point right now, I don't care if it did or not. All I care about is Cobb deciding that was the level that he wanted to stay in with his kids. But I have thought about this movie a lot, and it is a contender for being a 5-star movie in my collection. So for me to move that up to a 5-star, I've got to go through all 10 movies that I have as 5 stars and determine, okay, well, which one will Inception take the place of? And at this point, I can't pull one off of that mantelpiece. But here's a good example where I'll use that half star to be like, well, this will go into kind of a holding area of the 4-star movies, to where these are movies that I'm going to consider down the road if I really wanted to sit down or if things kind of change. The great thing about my movie rating system is the fact that this is a dynamic system. It's not one that it's always set in stone. If I put something as a 3-star, a 4-star, a 5-star, it's not always going to live with that grade. It can absolutely change. That's the fun part of being a moviephile, a cinephile, a movie lover. You can change your mind. But I will use that half star, so I'll move that down to a 4.5-star movie, just so that I know that I can differentiate that from my other 4-star movies. They're all movies that I would want to keep and spend money on to buy if I don't have them, but the 4.5 stars are the ones that are waiting to be considered to move into that top echelon. And then after a while, just kind of like with the NFL Hall of Fame or something, if you're not inducted into that top 10 Hall of Fame after so many years, I'm going to have to force it back down to that 4-star category. You've lost your window of opportunity. So that is the basis of the 3, 4, and the 5-star. You start with, did you like the movie? Would you watch it again? If the answer is yes, you liked it and you would watch it again, you're automatically a 3. Would you buy the movie? If you liked it but you wouldn't buy it, you wouldn't spend your money on that movie, well then that's just a 3-star movie. If you would buy it, if you would buy it in 4K, if you would buy it in streaming or digital, you're going to be spending some money on it because you just have to have that in your collection to watch whenever you want to watch it, then that's going to live in the 4-star category. And then does it have what it takes to occupy one of those 10 spaces? And the 10 is arbitrary. You can keep however many you want as a 5-star movie. I keep 10 because I want to hold myself accountable. I want to have those movies be somewhat untouchable. Like, you have to really, really be a great movie for me to consider that in one of my coveted, very limited spots of being a 5-star movie. Only 10 movies can have it in my system. Now let's go all the way back to that first question. You say, okay, I did not like that movie. I don't want to watch it again. Well, then we know 3, 4, and 5 ruled out. So that is now a 2-star movie. Now there's some cases to where you can be like, man, I know there's a lot of people that I follow. There's a lot of critics. There's a lot of movie lovers that really like that movie. I didn't get it. You still have to be held accountable in rating this movie. You have to follow the rules. Like, I didn't get the movie Sinners. I didn't get the latest creation of Dune 1 or 2. I have those as 2.5-star movies. I didn't like it. I have no desire to rewatch those movies. Those are 2-star movies, but I am using the 0.5-star in that system to be like, you know what? I want to be open enough down the road to where I might reconsider watching it if I get the time. If I'm around a bunch of people that want to watch it again for fun, I may give it another chance. So I'm going to give it a 2.5-star rating. The 0.5 stars for me are kind of like just a little flag for me, just to kind of let them stick out just a little bit for future consideration of changing my mind. And like I think I said in my last video on this, one of the movies that I rate as a 5-star, Moulin Rouge, don't hate me for it. I love it. It is a perfect movie in my eyes. I hated that movie the first couple times I watched it. Under this system, I would have rated it probably just a 2-star the first 2 times that I watched it. I remember going to the theater watching Moulin Rouge. I was like, I walked out. My wife was like, what'd you think? I said, I hated it. And then over the years, for some, I don't know, I'm getting older, whatever, I start to appreciate things more. I start to understand things a little bit more. And then that started just shooting up my scale to the point to where I was like, I am obsessed with Moulin Rouge. So definitely within my system, and for me personally, I know I can change my mind. I can be completely wrong, and then there may be movies to where I like, to where down the road I'm like, man, that was just awful. What was I thinking? And then I can readjust the ratings when that happens. Now, I do have a 5-star system. There is a section for 1-star movies. I explained this in the last video also. I don't usually go into watching movies that I don't know anything about. A lot of times I just don't have the time to just watch movies just out of the blue. I'm already going in with kind of a bias that this is a movie that I want to see. So in cases like that, rarely am I going to come across a movie that I'm going to be like, this thing is just god awful. My 1-star section in my rating system is for the god awful movies. So just because of that, there's not going to be a lot of movies that are going to fall into that 1-star category for me, but it will be fun down the road to be like, well, I want to kind of flesh out my 2-star movies. Let's go ahead and try to break those down. And I'm sure I'll probably be able to break off a whole chunk of those 2-star movies and put them as 1-stars, just to further differentiate between the 1s and the 2s. So that basically is my revised version 2 movie rating system. If you're a movie fan, Letterboxd fan, you're wanting to get into rating your movies and you're kind of struggling with, well, how do I come up with a system that I can be consistent with and that can be kind of even and easy for me to determine as I watch movies? Give this one a try. Use it as a basis, tweak it out as much as you want. Sometimes I feel like some people come up with these rating systems for their movies, but they haven't really thought about how they actually are going to break it down between a 2, 3, and a 4-star movie. Mine definitely has rules. Mine keeps it easy though. Mine just basically asks yourself 50-50 questions as you go, and you always start with that first question. Did you like it? Would you watch it again? And then that tells you which way you're going. Are you going up 3, 4, 5, or are you going to go down 2 to 1? Let me know what you think. Let me know what your system's about. There's really no right or wrong way. This is all for fun. Hopefully my system can help you out if you're struggling with trying to come up with one on your own. If you're on Letterboxd, let me know down in the comments. Give me your username or whatever so I can go and follow you. I love following other movie people. And let me know if there's certain types of movies that actually will fall through the cracks of my system. Will I need to make a version 3 because of those movies? I already know what the Kryptonite movie is for my system, and it's one to where I'm like, I don't come across it very often, so I'm just going to kind of forget about it. It's the movies that I don't like, that I have no desire to see again, but I know are really good movies. Those are the only ones that I would feel kind of guilty about within my system. Just think about it. Movies that you watch, you know it's a good movie, but you didn't really like it and you have no desire to see it again. Those are the movies that fall through this system, but those are so few and far between, I'm not going to worry about it. All right, if you like what we're doing here, like, subscribe, that whole nonsense there. And just to let you know, as of this week, officially quit my job. I'm out. I don't have to go back in. I quit my job at the age of 50 to start YouTube. Not just one channel, but 5 channels. That's a whole nother video series that's over on the Hub channel. But I am determined to make this work here on TSP, Total Entertainment. I love music. I love movies. I love TV. I love all my video gaming. So every like and subscription absolutely helps out here. We'll see you guys in the next video.